guys. I'm Brant Beckman, meteorologist at News Center 1, and I'm going to be your MC today for the 2021 United Way Month of Caring virtual kickoff. On behalf of all of us at News Center 1, we are so thrilled to have been invited back this year to celebrate the generosity that all of you, the Black Hills community, has given in your time through volunteerism, advocacy, and financial support to such a worthy organization. Before we get things started, I wanted to take a moment and just thank all of you for joining us a second time to celebrate giving back to our community in this virtual space. So let's not waste any more time and kick things off today with Jamie Tennis, Executive Director of the United Way of the Black Hills.
Hello, United Way friends, volunteers, and longtime donors, and welcome our new listeners. Thank you for joining us today. We are all here for the same thing, and that is to celebrate what it means to care. At United Way of the Black Hills, our mission is to unite people and resources to improve lives in the Black Hills by delivering measurable, long-term solutions to community issues like education, financial stability, and health. We do this day in and day out by investing in quality programs and organizations that are making a difference in people's lives and having real community impact. We serve the entire Black Hills from Edgemont all the way to Belle Fourche and every community in between. And the cool thing when you give to United Way, you know 100% of your donations are staying in the Black Hills. But what does this really mean? What do we do? How do we serve your community? Well, hang tight, because we've lined up some amazing speakers who are going to share their story of what United Way means to them and how they care about their community. Last year, thanks to you, we helped thousands of lives in the Black Hills. In total, we raised over $2.6 million. That's the most we've ever raised in our entire history. That says a lot about our community. 2020 was hard for so many. Yet, our community members came together to say, we're here for each other, our friends, our neighbors, our loved ones. We care. Today kicks off our brand new fundraising campaign. Our goal is to raise over $2.1 million to support things like early education, homelessness, workforce development, basic needs, and mental health. And we're really excited because we're going to have even more grant opportunities available for our nonprofit partners. Today, we have a great program for you. But first, I want to take a moment and thank some really special individuals and organizations. First off, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Without them, today wouldn't be possible. They include Black Hills Energy, Core Wharf, Monument Health, and News Center 1. In addition to the great speakers you're going to hear about who are going to tell their story, we've lined up some fabulous musical performances to keep you entertained. They include Darren Thompson, Brandon Jones Band, and Star Chief Eagle. We'd like to thank Fountain Springs Church for allowing us to use this fabulous location again for this year's event. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. With you, we are all living united for a brighter tomorrow. For 75 years, United Way has been all about helping the education, income, and health of the residents here in the Black Hills. And that's always going to be our mission. That's what we're all about. But we know things change. And so what we had to do was take a step back and reassess what are our community's top needs, and then look at how we can invest our resources to meet those needs and help find solutions to help all of our community. We're creating change because we're not about the Band-Aid. We're about the root causes and really pulling all of the partners together to the table to really look at solutions for our community's greatest needs. The top 7 priorities here in the Black Hills, as identified in our needs assessment, are mental health, substance abuse and alcohol abuse, birth to 5 child services, food and access to food, affordable housing, home and family life, and economic opportunities. with our initiative and with our new community impact work, it's more than just grants. It's saying, you know what? The nonprofits play a part, but so do the schools, so do local businesses, so do local government. So let's bring them all to the table, and let's look at how each of those play a part in a real solution to that issue. Our priority really is community change. It's really about having that impact for the residents here in the Black Hills. And so now that we know what those top 7 greatest needs are, it's how do we align our resources, including funding, volunteers, partnerships, advocacy, many, many things. How do we align all that for that community change to ensure that we're doing everything that we can towards those solutions along with all of our partners around the table?
Bringing partners to the table to create real change. That's what United Way is all about. Powerful stuff. Now let that resonate for a moment as we welcome our first performance of the show, Darren Thompson, to the stage. Darren is a Native American flute player, writer, and educator. No. Sorry. We're going to let Darren do all of this. But I appreciate the lessons. I'm going to leave all that to you. But I do think I will eventually get the hang of this. If you would like more information on where Darren is performing or to learn more, go to the website listed at the bottom of your screen. We are now going to welcome Lori Vega to learn more about the impact of what United Way does for our community.
Hi, I'm Lori Vega, and I am the United Way of the Black Hills Board President and also the Deputy Director for Installation Support for the 28th Mission Support Group at Ellsworth Air Force Base. I'm here to talk to you about United Way. United Way is about making a difference, not just one day or 1 month, but every day of every year. We make that difference one person, one family, one community at a time. One of my favorite stories has always been about the starfish on the beach. The story goes that there's a man, and he's on the beach, and he sees thousands of starfish that got washed up from the storm the night before. He notices a little boy going along the water's edge and picking up the starfish and throwing them back into the sea. He finds this puzzling, so he goes up to the boy and asks him what he's doing. And the boy says he's throwing them back to save them. The man looks around and sees miles of beach and thousands of starfish and says, "There are more starfish than you possibly can save. You can't make a difference." Then the little boy reaches down and picks up yet another starfish, sends it back into the ocean and says, "I can make a difference to this one." So Month of Caring puts a megaphone up to the many voices that allow the sheer power of difference that one community can make in just 1 month. Caring goes well beyond the 30 days, though. There are so many opportunities to get involved today for a brighter tomorrow. At United Way, our slogan is give, advocate, and volunteer. Volunteer, that's why you're here today. Advocate, you'll be hearing about that a little bit later from another guest speaker. And most importantly, to give. Our goal this year is to raise over $2.1 million in the Black Hills to serve a multitude of needs. This may sound like a lot, but just like the visible impact our volunteers make during 1 month of caring, giving just a little bit adds up to a big difference. Just 25 cents a day, and that's just $91.25 a year, will give 15 people suicide crisis support, which could save a life. Covers the cost of one counseling session of outpatient mental health counseling. Just $1 a day creates 20 food pantry baskets for families facing food insecurity. For just $5 a day, you can assist 10 families in need with their utility bills to avoid disconnection. But maybe you can't afford giving daily or monthly. That's fine. What's great about donating to United Way of the Black Hills is even just a little bit you give is invested wisely and goes on to serve great needs. Just a $5 one-time donation, and that's the cost of one coffee, can provide a victim in a shelter a round-trip transportation to an appointment or employment in town. Can give 4 people via phone, text, or email connection to local, nonprofit, and government agencies, which can aid with various financial, family, health, and basic needs. Can help provide medication to a person who's uninsured. And if that wasn't enough, here's more. For every dollar you donate, $1.75 is invested back in the community through staff efforts. Our Month of Caring coordinator, for example, is why we're able to bring $88,000 in economic impact to the Black Hills area through these volunteer opportunities. Our Black Hills Reads and Mental Health Initiative Director applies for numerous grant opportunities to bring in new revenue sources to have even more opportunities for programs making lasting impact in our community. Will you answer the call for help? To be a part of a bigger mission to serve the lives in your community. There are so many starfish we can help, one person, one donation at a time. Text to donate United Way Black Hills to 40403 to complete your donation. Just remember, even $1, $5, or $20 can add up to big wins in our community. Next, you'll be hearing a couple of stories of how these gifts are making a world of difference to lives throughout the Black Hills. Hang tight, you don't want to miss it.
Melissa came to us that she was suffering. She had a number of health issues, some mental health issues as well, some medical issues that she was dealing with. And when she came to see us, she was homeless. She was living sometimes in a tent, sometimes in her car, and she had multiple kids and no employment. Came to us really kind of at the end of a rope.
If people are struggling in one element of their life, there's possibly other elements as well. And the beauty of working with United Way is that we've got these collaborations with so many of the nonprofits serving our community that those connections are just a natural part of the work that United Way does, and truthfully a natural part of the work that our nonprofit partners do.
Unfortunately, Melissa's story isn't unique. And here at the Community Health Center, we see cases like this and patients like this every day. And so our staff here is really good at identifying those issues and kind of digging a little deeper than you probably would see in a standard clinic and trying to figure out exactly beyond just those basic medical issues.
The United Way always wants to make sure that we are investing the community's resources into the greatest needs that the residents here in the Black Hills are facing. The stigma for seeking help is out there and it is real, but what we really want people to know is that it's okay to ask for help. We all need help at certain points in our lives. And through the wonderful partners like Community Health Center, it's possible to seek that help. And so there's help out there through our great partners and organizations like 211 that we partner with, calling them, letting them know what you might need help with, and then they connect you with multiple nonprofits or others who are able to help.
Beyond dealing, obviously, with the basic medical issues that she was dealing with, like you would do in any other clinic, we basically set her up with our case manager, who got her established with reaching out to a lot of other United Way sort of partners, Feeding South Dakota, and starting getting her some food, Love Inc., Dress for Success program in terms of starting to get her some clothes, and really kind of setting her up so that she was on the road to success, not only medically but personally. Yeah, she's one of those great success stories, and that I think thanks to our intervention, and the team here, that they've got her stable housing. She's now got employment, mentally and physically. She's in a much better situation, and so it all kind of plays together. You can't just deal with one thing; you're going to deal with it all if you're really going to have true success. And that's the great thing I think that we do here at the Community Health Center. The United Way, it's a great place to contribute because it is tackling issues within our community in a really systemic sort of way. There's a lot of agencies that are all doing good things, and the United Way kind of brings them all together and allows that kind of allocates cash where it needs to be so that we can identify some of these community-wide sort of issues and tackle them in a unified sort of way. So it's the biggest bang for your buck in terms of if you're going to contribute someplace.
I work with the meter readings and data that comes straight from the meters at Black Hills Energy. I grew up with a single mother who was a victim of domestic violence by my father. He left when I was about 4 years old, and we struggled a lot through my childhood, and we struggled financially greatly as well. I think as a child, I didn't really know any different. I knew that I was responsible for a lot more than some of my friends were. I was the oldest of 3 children, so a lot of the responsibilities fell on me. I was often watching after my siblings and taking care of them while my mother was at work. So it was more stressful than I noticed my friends' lives were. I didn't change really throughout my entire childhood. We were probably around or below poverty level. Throughout my childhood, we experienced homelessness, hunger, no vehicle, having to walk through South Dakota blizzards after school, and that didn't really change until I became an adult and was out on my own. There were many organizations that helped us throughout my childhood. There was Youth and Family Services that provided us with free pre-K education and as well as transportation because we didn't have a vehicle. Feeding South Dakota filled our pantries when we didn't have food. And Salvation Army, I remember specifically because they have the Coats for Kids drive, and that's where we received our winter coats each year growing up. I think living through it as a child and watching my mom struggle, my mom was an amazing person. She is an amazing person, an extremely hard worker. At one point she had myself that was 7 and a 3-year-old and pregnant, and she was also working full-time and going to college on campus full-time. But she still struggled. She was still being evicted from homes and having to stand in line at the food bank with little kids, and being a part of that and watching my siblings and I suffer and the things and trauma that we had to go through because of that was something I never wanted my children to have to go through. And so I have always tried really hard to make sure that we don't go back down that road. It gets better. It gets better, and things aren't so hard if you wait a little bit longer, and that it's okay to ask for help, because my mom did try really, really hard, and she was a very kind mother. She was always there for us, but she needed a little extra help, and it's okay to ask for help. I feel like it's important to give to United Way because of mothers like mine and children like me, because there are individuals and families out there that are struggling and that are working very hard to pull themselves out of the pit, but they need an extra hand. They need somebody to help pull them out, and they can't do it alone. And so I think that giving to United Way helps them find a way to live healthy and happy lives. A few years ago, we lost my mother-in-law to suicide. And she was my children's favorite grandmother. She rode bikes with them and took them swimming and had craft stations set up at her house and liked to give them Mountain Dew when I wasn't around. And it was very, very unexpected and right before Christmas time a few years ago. It impacted them greatly. They were angry and they were sad and they didn't understand what had happened. They started having behavior problems at school, just feeling angry all the time, and had to go to counseling, which didn't help much. And they would wake up with nightmares and cry kind of randomly throughout the day at home, just crying out for their grandma. I had tried to take them to counseling at an organization in town, and they did not respond to that well. I tried to take them to counseling in schools, and that helped a little bit, but the school counselors can only do so much. And I tried buying them journals. That didn't really help as well either. we found Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that has been life-changing for my children. They both have bigs that do what Grandma used to do with them. They take them on bike rides and they do crafts with them, and most importantly, they're a sounding board for them, so they can talk about how they feel, or they can talk about Grandma. Sometimes they have said they don't want to talk to Mom or Dad because they know Mom and Dad are sad too, and so they would hold their feelings in. Now they have a big brother and a big sister that can be their sounding board and listen to those feelings and help them through them. I would absolutely recommend Big Brothers Big Sisters. Like I said, it's been life-changing for my children. It gives someone, somebody for them to look up to. And I would just also reach out for themselves. Reach out to a therapist if you need to, or other organizations in town that maybe deal with the loss of somebody by suicide. And again, just don't be afraid to ask for help. Donating to United Way is not only life-changing, but it can be life-saving for mothers like mine, for children like me, for children like my own, and for anybody who is struggling.
Hello, I'm Mark Ayer, Vice President of Operations for Black Hills Energy, and I serve on the Board of Directors for the United Way of the Black Hills. First of all, I just want to thank each of you for participating and giving your energy in volunteering during the month of caring. I'm very excited to see all the great work that we're able to accomplish in the community. For Black Hills Energy, we are excited to continue our long-term partnership with the United Way of the Black Hills. This dates back to the early 1940s. It's the 77th year that we've partnered and supported the United Way. And it's been our charity of choice to support. And there's many reasons for that, but one of the main reasons is we share a common vision and mission. Our mission is to improve life with energy, and that's exactly what the United Way does each and every day for individuals, families, and the communities that we serve. That mission was certainly put into action last year as we responded to the pandemic, and I was really proud of the United Way, the way that they came together quickly and got support to the agencies and the people that really needed it the most. I'm also grateful to work for a company where over 50% of our employees in South Dakota saw that need and donated to the United Way last year. In addition to that, hundreds of others spent hours in the community serving to make the community a better place. And so I would just ask each of you to join with us in giving, volunteering, and advocating for the United Way of the Black Hills. Thank you.
These messages of hope and support is exactly what we've needed to hear so far. I think it is time for a little music break with a group that needs almost no introduction, but I'm going to anyway. Please welcome the Brandon Jones Band.
All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
And I ain't never gonna. You want it all my heart, and I
country roads, take me home. Oops. Yes, sorry, I was auditioning for the band. Brandon, you have my number, right? All right, awesome. Let's get back to why we are here today. United Way of the Black Hills has taken on early childhood education as a major initiative, and no one has been a bigger champion of this initiative in the Northern Hills than Core Wharf. Please welcome Kim Huber.
Thanks very much, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. One of the things I wanted to do is share a short story about my daughter, Holly. She was diagnosed with failure to learn at age 4, which is a pretty daunting diagnosis, but she was able to go to an early learning intervention center down the street from her daycare center, which really helped as she got into school that next year, because she was able to have resources, small classroom sizes, frequent testing, additional homework, and she had all of that through the 5th grade to both figure out how to learn but also sustain that learning. She was able to graduate from high school. She was a scholarship track athlete for the University of Wyoming, and she's on her way to med school, her 2nd year, in a couple of weeks. Really changed the trajectory of her life. She'll tell you that herself. It really, really set her up for success. And I share that story as we tie it to the work the United Way of the Black Hills is doing, particularly in the area of early learning. We recognize that learning happens, most of it, in early development, and by expanding on resources such as quality childcare and programs, we're able to identify any early learning challenge for children and intervene on an early time. In addition, this story illustrates how challenges in education, financial stability, and health are not isolated. In fact, they're integrated. My daughter's story shows that she was able to advance her education and change the trajectory of her life, and potentially have a job that provides medical insurance covered by her employer. That's a really big point with which they're integrated together. How does Core Wharf Live United? We really focus on the work we're doing in September in the Month of Caring projects, including work with the United Way to support the Northern Hills Alliance for Children. We host legislative boards on early learning to help educate legislators and mayors on the advocacy work of early learning, and being a leader within our own community and tying it into the pillars of United Way, such as education, financial stability, and health. There's a lot of work to be done. A staggering statistic is that 70% of families with children under the age of 5 have both parents and guardians working, in most cases not out of choice, but rather necessity. Despite this statistic, there is not enough child care slots to accommodate this number. As a result, this forces single parents or family members to stay at home to take care of their children. It creates financial and employment retention concerns and is really impactful on their ability to grow their families. Is this happening in your place of business or in your community? You can help. You can be an advocate around the early learning work and help change the trajectory of children and support United Way through donating resources, volunteering your time, as well as advocacy work. Thank you for your time.
Black Hills Reads is the education initiative underneath the United Way of the Black Hills umbrella. We follow the outline provided by the National Campaign for Grade Level Reading Initiative. There are 5 main focus areas in which guide our work here locally. That is school readiness, summer learning, school attendance, parent engagement, and healthy readers. We have an array of programs and activities that kind of fall into all of that in order to help us make a systematic change, both regionally and statewide. The Black Hills Reads Initiative has an overall goal of helping children reach reading proficiency by 3rd grade. Only 45% of the kiddos in the Black Hills can read proficiently by 3rd grade. This is an issue. We also know that there's so many factors that play into this one piece of their educational journey. A lot of that has to do with early learning. United Way of the Black Hills recently did a community needs assessment. And with that, there were 2 issues that rose to the top in each community of the Black Hills: access to early childhood and early childhood experiences, and quality early childhood experiences. That is where Black Hills Reads is really zeroing in on those 2 issues, as that is the main issue we're seeing in our communities. With our overall goal being reaching reading proficiency by 3rd grade, we have a saying. Children up until the grade 3 are learning to read. From the 3rd grade on, they're reading to learn. Reading is that foundational piece, and if we don't get them at that 0 to 5 age range, we miss out on a huge opportunity. It's vital that we focus and we take stronger action in this area. You have to be able to have strengths in reading in order to make that progress in any aspect of life beyond that point. What is it that their family's going through? What are the other issues that we can help lift them up and kind of carry them over that threshold? Help them get that kiddo there from 8 to 4 and help them meet all of those other needs. I think that's something that United Way of the Black Hills is trying to look from a full, whole child perspective.
As we learned earlier, mental health is the #1 concern that came from the Community Impact Study. One major supporter of this initiative is Monument Health. Let's bring Paulette Davidson to the stage.
Hi, I'm Paulette Davidson, President and CEO of Monument Health. Monument Health is a community-based health system with a mission to make a difference every day. In January 2020, we joined the Mayo Clinic Care Network, which gives us access to Mayo Clinic's extensive knowledge, resources, and world-leading expertise. This collaboration has helped us provide our patients with more of the care they need close to home. While providing care close to home, we also prioritize caring for our communities, the cities, towns, neighborhoods where we work, play, and live continuously inspire us to care for others outside the walls of our healing environments. At Monument Health, it starts with heart, and with heart comes opportunities to give. Each year, we support more than 100 events and probably affect over 300,000 lives through our community relations initiatives. Our teams donate thousands of volunteer hours. Our caregivers and physicians serve on community boards and participate in volunteer outreach efforts beyond healthcare. We want to impact our communities for generations to come. To have the greatest effect, we need the right partners. Forming strong partnerships with a diverse group of organizations is a key step in community longevity. We value our partnership with United Way as we work together toward positive and lasting change. United Way looks beneath the surface and tries to get to the root of the challenges our neighbors face. Their community impact reminds us that we are all in this together, and we are stronger because of that.
Well, the mental health initiative came about through work really being done by the United Way as part of doing their 2019 community needs assessment. And we've long-term have known in the U.S., it's estimated 1 in 4 American adults will be diagnosed with a mental illness disorder in their lifetime. So it just follows suit with what the 2019 study showed us from the United Way. And it was pretty consistent that I think nearly all communities in the Black Hills area identified mental health as being their top or #1 need.
Some of the biggest gaps that we're seeing around mental health in the Black Hills are a lack of access to affordable and licensed mental health providers, whether that's counselors, whether that's organizations that serve people with mental health issues. That's a huge one. In my discussions with different organizations that serve people and provide mental health services, I'm discovering that, and it's an ongoing thing. One staggering issue that we see in the communities is that there's a lack of licensed mental health counselors per resident in the community. For every 2,500 residents, there's 1 licensed mental health counselor. That's like, I think that's in the Southern Hills. In Rapid City, I think it's like almost 200 to 1. So that's not near enough when you're talking about the increased need that we're seeing across the board, whether it's depression, chronic depression, whether it's acute mental crisis with someone, there's not enough providers.
Our foundation's approach and our interest in mental health really looks at some of the historical nature. There's been a lot of focus in the healthcare industry on physical health. Mental health has kind of been left behind over those years, and we're starting to really do a better job of understanding issues of trauma, issues of adverse childhood experiences, the role that stigma plays on accessing mental health services. And luckily, I think we're seeing our next generation of young people that are more accepting of mental health. And we're just proud as a foundation and happy to have the United Way of the Black Hills really step up and take this issue on as one of their strategic initiatives through their new planning process. And we're just really happy to be there and provide some support to them.
I think we all could agree that 2020 really showed us how important it is for us to focus not just on our physical well-being, but our mental and spiritual well-being. Our next speakers are a tag team from Fountain Springs Church who generously donated the space we are using today. Please welcome David and Katie Canaan.
Hey everyone, my name is David Canaan, and this is my wonderful wife, Katie Canaan.
Hi friends, we are so grateful that you are part of this exciting and amazing United Way event and the work of the United Way. You know, as this season draws to a close, we have been reminded over and over again what a privilege it is to live in this great place. People from all over the world use their time off, they use their resources, and they come to visit this place. But when they go home, long after they go home, we're here. And we are so honored and grateful to be a part of that because it reminds us that we have a responsibility and an opportunity to take good care of this place and to take good care of our neighbors who live here. This is one of the many reasons that we are so grateful and honored to be part of the United Way and the work that they do.
You know, Katie and I are parents, and one of the things that I have, no shortage of, is opinions to share with my kids about what they should be doing and when they should be doing it. And so they often get at least lectures from me, and I will tell them everything, right? Here's what I said. As a church, we love being a part of what the United Way is doing because it's beyond just here's what should be done, and a lecture or words. The United Way is brilliant and active, and I think very able to gather us as a whole community and say, here's the actual needs going on. Let's address this together. Mm-hmm. And it's not just United Way is a good name. United is a big deal. And so as a church, we're all in on this because we believe all in should be not just churches, not just the marketplace, not just random individuals. We all need to help what needs to be helped. And so it's a privilege that we count it as to be a part of looking at our community and saying, how do people need to be loved? And what needs to be done, and taking it from words and making action out of it. I think you and I think we love the idea of not just posting something on the internet saying, do this. It's a group of people going, no, we are doing this and we're a part of it. So now we'd like to introduce Star Chief Eagle, who will be performing for you today.
Hey, That was Star Chief Eagle. What a beautiful dance, and wow! If you'd like more information about Star, will you please go to the link at the bottom of the screen. Well, greetings to everyone. Here we are again this year. I'm Rosellen Reese from United Way, and I'm the Month of Caring Coordinator. And I would like to say thank you to each of you who have joined us via social media, TV, wherever, and all of you who are here, thanks again for being with us. I would like to say a good shout out to all of our areas that will be participating in the Month of Caring. Sturgis, hello. Northern Hills, hello to you all, and also Southern Hills. We couldn't do it without you, and we want you to know that we're thinking about you all today as you go out and participate and give to others. I would also like to say thank you to Ellsworth Air Force Base, one of my big volunteers today as well, and to all of the businesses who have allowed their employees to come and be a part of United Way with us. If you all remember, last year I had a theme of we are the world, we are the people. The world is a better place when we give and we help each other. This year I'm doing the same theme, pretty much along the same lines. And the one I picked this year says, think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. When you're feeling down and just look around, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yes, the world will be a better place for you and for me. And along those same lines, there's another song that says, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing that there's just too little of. So thank you all again, once again. And when we go out today, let's share the love and just give a smile to everyone that we're going to help those we see and be kind to one another. Thanks again for participating and helping United Way with our month of caring. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And to remember, put a little love in your heart.
There is a reason why we always end with Rosellen. Her words literally say it all when it comes to what today is and why we are all here. Thank you to our sponsors and performers, but most of all, thank you for all tuning in today. Now let's get out there and care. Yes, it is. Reading is, I can sit up here and blab about the weather all day, but I don't have a script for that. I just get to say what I want.